Well, good morning, and thanks for waking up with us for Kezi 9 News this morning. I'm Adam Aranda. It's 8 o'clock here on your Saturday, and in case you didn't know it, College Game Day is back in Eugene for the first time since 2022. Now, we do have team coverage this morning with the KZI sports team. We've got our KZI sports reporter, Brett Taylor, standing by to break down today's matchup, but we're going to go ahead and start with our sports director, Cameron Derby. Cam, Reese Davis issued a challenge to the Ducks faithful to prove that they are the College Game Day kings on the West Coast. Now, you've been out there all morning. How did they do? I'm sure a lot of people are going to be sounding the same exact way, screaming their heads off today, but let's go ahead and send it over now to our KZI sports reporter, Brett Taylor. And Brett, despite all these headlines, this is a heavyweight football matchup. What can fans expect to see during tonight's game? Something else that might have fans a little bit excited is the weather for today's game. So let's go ahead and check in with our chief meteorologist, Holden LaCroix. All right, Holden, thank you very much. Moving now to a crime alert. 51-year-old Dustin Lindsay of Lane County was arraigned in court on Friday. Lindsay is facing several charges stemming from a string of armed robberies back in 2022 at local video lottery delis. Go ahead and take a look at your screen. These are surveillance photos from those incidents. Lindsay is charged with 4 counts of first-degree robbery and 5 counts of felon in possession of a firearm. The robberies occurred mostly around the Eugene area between August and September of 2022 and included Sandy's Deli on Barger Avenue, Anna's Deli and Bailey's Cafe on Coburg Road, and Sherry's in Junction City. During the last incident, Eugene police said he fired a shot into a video lottery machine. The indictment was filed in June of last year, but Lindsay had not yet been formally arraigned. He was arrested 2 years ago this weekend with the help of Eugene's police's SWAT team. And now moving to a scam alert where Eugene police are seeing a rise in younger college-age victims coming to police to report warrant scams. They say a person calls impersonating the Eugene Police Department or officer calling to tell them that they have a warrant for their arrest. They're told they will be arrested unless they purchase gift cards and give the card information to them. Eugene police are reminding people that they do not demand payments or inform people that they have a warrant for their arrest. And in Your Voice, Your Vote, we've reached the end of our 10-question series with the District 4 congressional candidates, incumbent Val Hoyle and challenger Monique Despain. At the beginning of the week, KZI 9 News anchor Matt Templeman asked each of them 10 identical questions about key issues voters want to hear about. Now, they were not told in advance what the questions would be. Each only had 60 seconds to answer, and then at 60 seconds, we stopped recording. We'll go ahead and start with Congresswoman Val Hoyle.
Question number 9. You traveled to the U.S.-Mexico border earlier this year. What do you want to see done to better secure the border and manage who comes and goes? And you have 60 seconds to answer.
I appreciate this question because I did go to the border and I did talk to Border Patrol agents. And what they said is that they are working with technology that is 10 years old, while the cartels are working with technology that they're able to buy right in the minute. And the majority of fentanyl, which is a problem, the drugs that are coming over the border are coming over from people who are legally allowed to come here, and mostly Americans. So what they need is an investment in Border Patrol, is an investment in technology, and I've signed on to bipartisan legislation to do that. On the other side, we have a broken immigration system. The last time that we passed an immigration law was at the federal level was in 1985. So we have to work on this. We have to update the system, update our visa programs, make sure there are other paths besides asylum, let people apply for asylum before they come in the country. We have to do both things.
And again, the candidates have not been told in advance what the question is. Now we move to challenger Republican Monique Despain.
Monique, you recently traveled to the U.S.-Mexico border. What do you want to see done to better secure the border and manage who comes and goes? And you have 1 minute to answer.
You know, first of all, national security, border security is independent from the much-needed immigration reform that this country has needed for decades. And to conflate the two is just misleading the voter. I did go to Yuma, Arizona. There is an orderly in-processing of millions of people from 160 different countries. The largest growing population of these illegal immigrants is Chinese nationals. Up to 40,000 Chinese nationals are coming over our borders and taking their posts in our country. So are known terrorists. And just recently there was a report from ICE Immigrations and Customs, saying that 650 convicted, 450 are convicted felons, murderers, rapists, all sorts of criminals coming in, and the remaining 650 are charged. And they've left their countries of origin, and they're coming into our country. What would I do? I would secure.
Coming up at 8:30, our final question for Val Hoyland and Monique Despain. We'll ask them, what is something we haven't touched on that you want voters to know about you or your opponent? And coming up on KZI 9 News this morning, this is the first year in history the Ducks are conference opponents with the Ohio State Buckeyes. But when we come back, we'll meet a Buckeye that's been on campus for almost 70 years. Plus, the Big Ten Network blackout is over, and we'll show you what this announcement means for Comcast subscribers. We're back in a couple of minutes. We'll leave you with this live look of Eugene. The sun is coming up. A beautiful day for football. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Your vote matters.
So make sure your voice is heard. Register to vote now for the November election.
Go to KZI.com and register by October 15th.
Depend on KZI 9 News for your voice, your vote coverage this election.
Welcome back. The Ducks-Buckeyes rivalry actually has some very deep roots, literally. There's a giant Buckeye tree that's been sitting outside of Lillis Hall on the U of O campus since 1958. This morning, our KZI 9 News reporter Noah Chavez is live in Eugene to tell us more about the deep-rooted history. Noah. Awesome. Storylines just keep getting deeper and deeper. College game day is just the beginning of today's excitement as well. There's still a long way to go until tonight's 4:30 kickoff. And the Beer Stein in downtown might look a little red today. The owner of Beer Stein is an Ohio State alum and a proud Buckeye fan. He's been preparing for the hundreds of fans thanks to a collaboration with Ohio State's Alumni Association. So he's not the only one that's excited, though. His passion for his alma mater has rubbed off on his employees as well.
We're just really excited. It's like fun to show off our space, show off our town. You know, we're definitely known for craft beer, so we love to show off. We really kind of tailored our tap list to be really local this weekend too.
The Beer Stein always has a watch party for the Ducks games, but they're expecting to have all kinds of red and gray today and less of the usual green and yellow. And in an update, the Big Ten blackout is no more. A dispute between Comcast and the Big Ten Network happened in September over alleged price increases. The Big Ten Network says Comcast was declining to expand coverage when the conference added the 4 West Coast schools: UCLA, USC, Oregon, and Washington. But on Thursday, Comcast said the Big Ten Network will be available to Xfinity TV customers in Oregon, Washington, and California. But currently, Oregon does not have any games scheduled on the Big Ten Network.